Hi everyone, welcome to the CEDIS Academy webinar. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Courtney Hendrickson. I'm the Economic Development Director with the Town of Farmington, and I'm the CEDIS member that was recruited to start this new program. So today's program is the first in the webinar series that we intend to run every second month, and we'll invite CEDIS and prospective CEDIS members as our audience and local experts as our speakers. We already have quite a few topics and speakers lined up, and we think that they're going to be pretty compelling. So this webinar series will be held at 12:15 in the tradition of a lunch and learn, so that attendees can sit at their desk or really anywhere and spend half an hour to 45 minutes learning about a relevant topic. And what's nice about the GoToMeeting software program is that the attendees can access the program anywhere where they have computer or phone access. And I want to thank CERC today. They're providing this GoToMeeting technology and the facility for us to broadcast from. And we'll have several presenters that are in separate locations as well, and we want to thank them. I'll get to them in a minute. We expect this CEDIS Academy program to run every other month starting now. So we'll do June, August, October, and December, and we'll send out those dates. It's really intended as an added member benefit and education piece for our members that goes in addition to the quarterly meetings and the more extensive programs. And just as a side note, each CEDIS member that attends 2 CEDIS Academy programs this year and 3 in the future when we have a full year will receive recognition at the CEDIS annual meeting in December. So turning to today's topic, it's going to be pretty short and sweet. We've been asked to be done by about 10 of 1. So we're going to first hear from Mark Waterhouse, and he's one of the professors. Most of us know him as a consultant here in the state, but he's also one of the professors for the OU EDI program, which is out of University of Oklahoma. And that's a program that came last summer and will be coming again this summer to Connecticut to help train our economic development professionals. And I'm going to turn it over to Mark for about 10 minutes to talk about that program.
Thank you, Courtney. As Courtney has said, OU EDI stands for the University of Oklahoma's Economic Development Institute. This is a program that just celebrated its 50th birthday. We were started in 1962. It started as a program of the Southern Industrial Development Council, and after 2 years they decided it needed to be a national program. They turned it over to the American Industrial Development Council, which is now IEDC, the International Economic Development Council, and the program has been run by the University of Oklahoma basically since its inception, primarily because at the time the program was started, OU had the first of the major Kellogg Foundation-funded conference centers that were state-of-the-art. Now, if you believe that economic development is something that you need some specialized education for, then this is one of the 2 routes that you can follow. Both routes are affiliated with IEDC, the International Economic Development Council. The newer of the routes is the set of programs that IEDC runs directly. There have been several of those opportunities over in the Albany area over the past few months, and a few more coming up. The older of the 2 routes is the program that I'm talking about, the Economic Development Institute. Both of these cover the same curriculum. Both of them are accredited by IEDC, and both of them are intended, first and foremost, to provide you with the education that you need to be the best economic developer you can be, but secondarily, if you are going to take the examination to become a certified economic developer, which is the national designation, the next step up on the ladder from NEDA's EDP, or Economic Development Professional designation, then this is the route that you're going to need to follow, because you have to have taken either the IED courses or OU EDI to take the exam. Both of them are structured similarly. There are 3 core courses that you have to take. A 2-day course on business retention and expansion, which is the one that we hosted in Meriden last August. A 2-day course on real estate development and reuse, and a 3-day course, at least it's currently 3 days, on business finance or economic development finance. And that may be reduced to 2 days at some point in the future. IEDC is considering doing that. You also have to take either 2 or 3 2-day electives. The difference in whether you take 2 or 3 depends on whether or not you have been to the New England basic course or another basic course. The New York program, New York basic course, is going on in Albany at the moment. In fact, I was there teaching on Monday. Or you have taken IEDC's Fundamentals of Economic Development or Introduction to Economic Development course. If you've taken one of those, then you only have to take 2 electives. And electives are in things like economic development marketing, strategic planning, small business development in startups, a variety of different courses that way. We have 2 EDI courses, which are also 2 IEDC courses, coming to Connecticut in August. These are courses in a 2-day course in marketing and a 2-day course in economic development, real estate development and reuse, and they will be taking place in the middle of August, presuming we get the contract with the University of Oklahoma signed, which I have no doubt we will, because we've already done this once with them for last year. So you have the opportunity to take 4 days in a row and get 1 elective and 1 core course out of the way, or you could take the 2-day elective and go home, or come for the second half of the week and take the 2-day elective on real estate development, which is one I primarily will be running with some help from some other folks. The marketing course will be bringing in folks from a couple of different places around the country. Both of them 2 days long, so covering 16 hours worth of course content. Both of them very valuable, whether or not you're preparing to take the exam. Be happy to deal with questions as we go along. This is, and I don't have my, well, let's see, I can pull a calendar here. I forgot to get my schedule, but if memory serves me correctly, we are looking at the week of I think it's the 13th of August where these courses are going on. It might be a week earlier than that. So coming up in about 2 months. I'd be happy to now turn the program over to someone else.
Thank you, Mark. And just a quick question on when will, if those of us who are interested in signing up this summer, when will the information get out to us?
It should be coming up in the next week or so, at least, where they hold the dates notification and letting folks know exactly what is going to take place when. And the location will be the same hotel down in Meriden where we had the course last August, so kind of centrally located. We actually had folks that came in from New York State, and if I remember correctly, someone who came in from Michigan last year, so it should be more than just a Connecticut-focused group. But that will be coming out from Tom Morano at Northeast Utilities sometime in the very near future.
Thank you, Mark. That looks great. I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but I know, John O'Toole, you're on the call, and I was wondering if you could just speak real briefly, because you've done the entire program, to your experience.
Yeah, sure. I found IEDC, if I've got it right. No, OUEDI, I'm sorry. OUEDI to be very good, and all of the different sections that Mark mentioned, whether it's strategic planning, real estate, marketing, business retention, and BR&E, business retention and expansion, and some of the electives to be very good. What I liked about OUEDI, and even when we have it here in Connecticut, it gives you an opportunity to be with generally people from around the country doing the same thing. At different times, the courses had different level of interest to me, and then ultimately preparing for IEDC's exam, it became very very helpful. And as I look around job boards and that sort of thing, I think being credentialed is going to be important. But I would make myself available to speak to anyone offline if they were considering or had doubts on why to pursue it. I think it's a very good thing to pursue.
Thank you, John. Before I turn it over to Deborah, I just wanted to mention if you do have any questions, we'll have time for a brief Q&A at the end, and you can just type them in to the question section, and then we'll just collect those and we'll address those all, which of the panelists is needing to address those at the very end. So I just wanted to put that in there. And I'm going to turn it over to Deborah Donovan. She's with Sector in the southeast part of the state, and she's going to talk to us about a tour of Fort Trumbull that's going to be coming up in July.
Hi, everyone. We finally have got the pieces of this put together, and I hope that you can invite everybody you know from CEDAS to join us at Fort Trumbull. The Fort Trumbull State Park, as you know, is part of the whole redevelopment thing that went on in New London some years ago when Pfizer built their global headquarters there. And we had our horrible Supreme Court case and all that, but things have calmed down here now, and there's a wonderful building at the fort area, at the peninsula, that is now housing several high-tech companies, including the Coast Guard's Research and Development Center. They do all kinds of research and development on oil spills and pollution, invasive species, port security, homeland security, rescue, sea rescues, air rescues. So they are going to do a tour of their facility. One of the other companies in there is also a Coast Guard facility. It's the International Ice Patrol, which was founded in 1913 to monitor icebergs breaking off the Greenland ice cap, and this was a result of the Titanic disaster in 1912. So the ICE works with the Canadians on monitoring by air and water the iceberg situation in the North Atlantic in the spring months, and it's a pretty neat place. So they're going to give us a tour as well. And then we will get an opportunity to walk over to the conference center at the state park, where we can have a networking reception with food and drink and get a chance to look at the model and talk to Robert Stillman. Robert is from the Stillman organization down in Fairfield County, and they have just received approval from the City of New London to get going on a really cool LEED certified residential development surrounding the building where the Coast Guard R&D Center is. And it's the first real development that's happened at the fort since the eminent domain case, and it's really beautiful, and we're really excited about it here in New London. So it should be a good time. I will be sending out an invitation with CERC at the end of the week, and we will have directions and some pictures, and also I will provide everyone with a link to New London Main Street's website so you can look at restaurants and things like that if you want to stay over and have dinner. And if it's a beautiful night, there's plenty of places you can sit out on the decks of restaurants and chow down. So that's the plan for the quarterly meeting of CEDAS in July and in New London, and I certainly hope we can get a great attendance. It's going to be nice. The other thing I was thinking of is it's possible that people from the New Haven area can come via Shoreline East. I'd have to look at the schedule, and we can pick them up and take them over to the fort.
Thanks, Deborah. That's really helpful, and I think it's really nice that we do try to have our quarterly meetings at different locations around the state. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on in your region, and several of us have been talking. We're very excited about coming down there to see it. Last but not least, I'm going to turn it over to John Shimo with Metro Hartford Alliance, and he's going to give us some highlights of the upcoming NEDA conference, which will be taking place here in Hartford in October. John? John, are you there? I don't know what happened to John, but I was wondering if maybe, Becky, do you mind just jumping in here and seeing if there's any other highlights that we can give on the NEDA conference? Okay, we're 0 for 2 on that. Well, I can tell you a little bit about it. Although I don't have my materials right in front of me, but the conference is scheduled. Does anyone have the dates? 28th through 30th, thank you, right on the screen there, in Hartford. So we're excited about that, and we have an expectation that we will have over 200 attendees, which is, we're trying for the largest attendee base ever in the history of the NEDA conference. We have raised a lot of money through sponsorships, and we're excited about the sponsorships and funding a great program. So I'm hoping that John is going to come back on to tell us a little bit more. And in the meantime, we do have on the NEDA website, there's a blog that tells us quite a bit more about the program. So I would encourage you all to go to that NEDA website and go straight to the blog to learn more about the conference. Oh, Deborah said she can talk about that. That's great. Thank you, Deborah. I'll turn it back over to you.
I'm not sure what I can say that you haven't said, except the theme of this conference is going to be Connect to Compete, and there's some pretty neat programs and seminars on connecting to entrepreneurs and innovation in the state, connecting to employment and labor issues, future industries. There's networking opportunities with colleagues, and there is also going to be an opportunity to meet with site selectors one-on-one on the last day of the conference. There'll be a panel discussion on site selectors and how to get with them, and then there will be opportunities to make appointments to sit down with site selectors and discuss what they're looking for, what you have to offer, and just general ideas on site selection. There's also, I might add, there's going to be some really terrific food at this event.
Thank you, Deborah. And John, sounds like you got back on, so I'm going to let you fill in the blanks here.
I did. I'm sorry about those technical difficulties. Probably more like difficulties with me, not the technical. Anyway, glad to be on the call. And for those of you that haven't been to a NEDA conference, Connecticut only gets to host this thing once every 10 or 11 years, and the last time we did it was down in Mystic in 2001. So we've got a very ambitious conference committee that has done a wonderful job of pulling together a program that is about as robust as I think I've ever seen in all the years that I've been with NEDA. So we're privileged to have the speakers that we're going to be having, and again, we're starting Sunday evening at the Wadsworth Athenaeum, a great spot to have our opening reception, and we'll go through, as may have already been noted, Tuesday at noon. So this is a bargain for NEDA members. Early bird registration by September 7. It's $395, and for non-members it's $495. But you can get a real good deal if you join. You'll be discounted on your membership fee. So I would encourage all those that haven't attended a conference to make sure that you get to this one. We're hoping to have about 200 people. And we do expect the governor to be there on Monday evening to help celebrate with the CEDAS 50th anniversary reception at the Connecticut Science Center. We'll have the mayor there, and again, all these other good speakers. So make sure you register, do it before September 7th, and save some money. And we promise that you'll have both a great educational experience as well as a fun experience joining your colleagues from around the Northeast.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Deborah, too. That sounds like it's going to be a great conference, and I was lucky enough to be part of the program committee, so I am excited about a lot of the speakers that we're bringing in. There was one comment so far, not a question, but a comment from Becky Nolan that I'd like to read that said, I would agree with John O'Toole regarding the OU EDI program. I'm a graduate of the program as well and would encourage everyone to take the program here in Connecticut in August. Thank you, Becky, and I should have acknowledged at the beginning of that you also were a graduate. So congratulations to both of you, and we are very excited about all these programs that are coming in. So if we have any more questions, this is the time to write them into the chat box there, and we'll address those. We're looking at perfect timing here for the next couple minutes, and then I'll come back on and address any of those. Thanks. And Mark just wanted to give a little bit more information on the EDI program. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, one thing that I found out while Deborah was talking, I did grab my schedule, and both sets of dates I gave on EDI were wrong. It's actually the week of August 20th, where the 20th and 21st are the 2 days on marketing, 22nd, 23rd are the 2 days on real estate. The other piece is that this is about as cost-effective a 2-day educational course as you will find anywhere. Much less expensive than having to get on an airplane and travel to go to take the courses, or even to drive to Albany to take the IEDC courses over there. If you are not an IEDC member, it'll cost you $250 for a 2-day course. If you are an IEDC member, it's only $200. And we have a slew of scholarships available from CEDIS, from the Metro Hartford Alliance, from United Illuminating if you're in their territory, so we may be able to beat the actual cost of attending these courses down to close to nothing. So I think that may make it worthwhile, an investment of 2 to 4 days of your time.
Thank you, Mark. That's very helpful. And I just wrote the dates down, and I'm sure everyone else did too. And what I'll do after this call is just send out a reminder to everyone on here with all the dates of all the programs we just heard about. And also, just so you know, we're going to set up a YouTube channel for CEDIS Academy, and we're going to post all of these sessions so you can go back and listen if you didn't catch something, or those of us who are not on the call today could also access that. So I want to wrap it up here. Let's see. There's one other question or comment here. Oh, Becky says that there's also a Metro Hartford Alliance scholarship for attending the program. I believe that's the OU EDI program, and probably the NEDA conference as well, if you're in the Metro Hartford Alliance region. Thank you, Becky. So thank you so much for being on this call for our initial kickoff of CEDIS Academy, for your patience with our technology, and for your support of our program. Also, thank you for those of you who commented and asked questions, and thank you very much to our presenters, Mark Waterhouse, John Shimo, and Deborah Donovan. Thank you all so much.